Hey, so welcome back for episode 2 of The Man You Are Called to Be. We've been working through this book by Anthony Bryce, and I'm joined with some great men that are called to be something. I guess y'all called to be something, but once again, we'll introduce ourselves and kind of go through some things from the book because each week we've been reading like 7 pieces and then kind of things that stood out. So let's start, Turner. Introduce yourself.
Oh yeah, Ryan Turner, technology coordinator here, Michelle Clark.
Jaquez Williams. I'm the lead instructional coach here, Michelle Clark.
Vernon Driscoll, the assistant principal here, Michelle Clark.
Trinell Jordan, the early college STEM specialist here at Michelle Clark.
And let me say, y'all do not sound excited about this week of chapters. So
I'm
maybe
excited.
It's been
something.
a long week, man.
It's been a long week, but still, that's part of being called the man you are to be.
Hey,
You know what's crazy?
Very excited.
Right.
You know what's crazy?
Learning a lot about myself.
Right.
I am.
So what's crazy is I was sharing some frustrations with my group of friends, close group of friends, and I was saying like I'm adjusting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still adjusting to everything that's new in my life right now. Mm-hmm. And they were saying like, yeah, you know, we not young. Like this is like really like.
Oh my
what it
God!
means
Not that
to
we
be-
not young anymore. What y'all
Like-
over the hill?
Oh my God!
I'm still
No, not necessarily over here, but like this is what that I guess real adult
The real grind,
man,
being an adult.
Mm-hmm.
you know, pressure feels like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it might not have been as cumbersome before, but
Well, it's
now it's
intense.
Like,
Yeah, I just was at my parents' house and I said to them, you guys probably won't remember some, but maybe somebody out there remember. I was like, I don't want to grow up. I want to be a Toys R Us kid. And I was like, I just want to go back to being a Toys R Us kid. I'm tired of having responsibilities for me, myself, and other people. I don't want to be responsible for anybody.
Man,
So
it's one thing to have to be responsible for yourself. Take care of somebody else.
It's
and
a
make
whole
sure
nother
it's-
ball
yeah.
game.
Man, that's
It's
why I ain't got no
crazy.
kids now.
Hey, me
It's
too.
funny. Seriously, very careful, very intentional. But it's funny you said it just to kind of relate to the same thing you said. I was reading stuff and it kind of said the same thing. Like, be patient with the man you're becoming because you've never been this person before. Like, you never had these.
that's powerful.
Yeah, you know, at these, whatever, just a point of life, it's the first time I've ever been there. I think it was
That's a
just
fact.
a point, yeah, definitely.
So let's kind of talk about it. Who wants to go first? Kind of maybe say something that stood out in the book. And I think you two gonna have to pull your mics up because y'all voices are really, really soft.
Well, I went first last time, so I'm gonna let somebody else kick us off this time.
So you don't think you're capable of kicking us off?
I mean, I could if I wanted to.
But because you're developing into this man that you've never
Right,
been
I'm
before,
I'm
let
staying-
somebody else do it.
Yeah,
That's
I'm-
right. Delegate, AP.
Right, there we
Delegate.
go. Delegate.
All right, who you
Distributive
delegate? Who you delegating?
Let's start with Mr. Jordan.
And we are in a school, so that was the bell, and that means you'll hear it again in 4 minutes. But we're gonna move quickly through this. Go ahead, Mr. Jordan.
All right. I think what stood out to me the most was the day that we talked about, we read about redefining success. It talked a lot about, like the pressures that society put on you and that kind of dictate what you look at success as. And for me, I always thought like making the most money would be my success. And then I graduated college, went into finance, made a ton of money early. And I woke up every day like, I'm not really fulfilled. So that wasn't really like my success as I thought it would be as I was in college. And then transitioning into education, it's like that's more with my heart at, helping the people, helping youth kind of dictate or determine where they want to go in their life. So kind of redefining my success kind of happened when I transitioned from finance to education. Yeah, that was pretty powerful.
Hey, so can I ask you, in redefining your success, was it difficult to get other people to believe, or you just had to really believe yourself? Because sometimes success we take from other people saying, oh, they got a house, they got kids, they got a family, picket fence. So if you redefined your success, did you look to like others for approval, or did you how'd you get others out of that?
For sure. At first, it was looking at others and, the amount of money they was making. I'm like, I want to get those things. I want that type of lifestyle. But then I started like internalizing what felt good to me. And yeah, the money for sure felt good, but then I was still missing pieces in my life. And then once I was able to like help people more and kind of be a part of their journey, I was way more fulfilled with that career field.
That's powerful. Anybody want to add or anything goes with what maybe your piece was with that?
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely. I think that that's a very important piece we was reading. It's talking about redefining success or determining what success means to you. I think everybody deals with this on a daily basis, or especially most of our kids. And what this can do, it can be a gift and a curse in certain aspects. But a lot of these kids can be influenced negatively because they think success looks a certain type of way, right? So a lot of kids end up going down the wrong path, even making mistakes because they thought that life should have went this way, but once the reality hit them, now you gotta either start over or you gotta go through a couple years incarcerated or just do whatever you gotta do for you to get back to home base, because you looked at the perception from somebody else.
Yeah.
Or you were looking at somebody like from the outside looking in, thinking that it was all glitter and glamour, not knowing what they was going through or what they had to deal with for that success to even look like that. But I think it take a lot of internalizing and figuring out who you are, for you not to make that mistake.
I think who you are and who you really want to be. Like there's some people that really get caught up in a lot of things, and I think if we sat and were honest, there's some things that we've gotten caught up in that we're like, really, this not that serious. This was just some people blew my head up with, or things like that. Which when I think about that, it also takes me to the chapter where it says, "Believe where you are." So if I can use your book just for a second, because I wanted to read one of the quotes from it, but it was in 7, having the strength to say, "This is where I am." So for too long, we've hidden behind masks saying, "I'm good," when we're barely holding it together. We've been taught to treat acknowledgement like defeat. But here's the truth. It's not facing your reality that breaks you. It's running from it. Every time you bury, as I said, we're in a building, so that bell will stop in a second. There you go. Every time you bury what you're carrying, it only grows heavier. Denial doesn't project you, it traps you. And real strength sounds like this. I'm not okay, but I'm working on it. That's where transformation begins. So even when you talked about success, it made me think about this is where I am. I'm at the point that I'm trying to keep other voices out of my head. I'm at the point where being locked into being this person that everybody thinks I am, I got to get that out of my head so I can say, this is where I am right now. I'm broken, or I'm not okay, but these are the steps I'm making. And I think as men, sometimes we don't ever say, this is really where I am. What we do is we continue to try to be the strong man regardless. So if we have surgery and the doctor say no lifting more than 5 pounds, eventually we're going to try to pick 5 pounds because we're going to say, oh, I could do it. I can move that table. I can move that chair. Not necessarily because we're trying to show off, but because we don't want to acknowledge where we are.
Yeah. And,
Oh,
go ahead. Go ahead, Tom.
So the "This Is Where I Am" chapter stuck out a lot for me, because especially growing up in today's time, like you get on social media, you see everybody. Nothing on social media is real, but everybody is portraying, what I'm saying, spotlight and flashy and all this. So you see things, you see people have things, like Mr. Jordan said, and personally, I had to realize it's okay to accept where I am right now, and when you see people have different things, it's a reason you probably don't have those things.
Yeah.
Those things may not be for you, and if you do get those things, it could hinder your growth or wherever you're supposed to be.
I think what's important about that, even saying that, is social media now, you can't almost tell whether it's AI driven
That's a fact.
so sometimes I'm looking at something on TikTok and I'm like, is that AI or is that because AI now could do everything. So I can make AI say I'm this rich, happy person in Dubai and blah, blah, blah. And in reality, I might be sitting in a rat hole infested place, but people would think that I'm this fame. I just think that we're so fooled and blinded by those things that when we look up, we're like, I want to be like that. I want to be able to fly all over the place. And it really might just be AI.
Yeah.
I know you was going to say something, Mr. Driscoll.
Yeah, so I was going to connect to owning the mirror. I think that was chapter or day 9.
Yeah.
And I think it really just ties down to being honest with yourself. And in that honesty, also having the hope to be and do better and to become that better version of yourself. but you'll never become that version of yourself until you stop repeating the same lessons, repeating the same
Habits.
issues that you've continued to face. So until you decide to change, you're gonna be in this cycle of seeing the same thing day in and day out.
So guess what you just made me think about? How many of us, by just being honest, have been in relationships longer than we probably should have because we didn't want to change, or we didn't want to say this is where I am, and so we didn't want to hurt her feelings, and we didn't want them to feel this way. Even jobs, we've been in jobs that we like. I don't want to say this is where I am. I want to just keep going. Because if I quit this job, look what might happen to me, you know? And so I don't want to be honest about it. And so I'm thinking about even just in relationships that sometimes we are not honest with each other because we always think of others before we think of ourselves. So I'll stay in a relationship for 2, 3 years, 4 years.
That's real.
And yeah, I'll stay in that relationship unhappy, but I'm not gonna say I'm unhappy because I don't want to hurt whoever I'm in that relationship with.
Keep faking the funk.
Yeah.
Keep faking the funk, and that's so real principle. Like you'll fake the funk, hoping that it'll click
kick
one
back
day.
in, like-
It'll click one day, but it's not gonna click.
It's not, man.
But why do we stay like that then?
I really think it's one of those things where it's like, I was reading these things where say change is based on like your daily routine or what you consistently do. And they say there's 2 wolves inside of us, and whichever one you feed becomes the one who gets stronger. I think the more you constantly feed that I'm okay, that voice becomes stronger. So now when you want to try to tap into something else, it's going to override because you're used to the daily routine or what's comfort or what's comfortable to you. I think the change is, the uncomfortability with change is what makes you go back to your comfort zone.
And here's the other thing: the person that we're in a relationship with, we're actually hurting them too because they think that this is great.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, they think that he's doing a great thing. And you're like, okay, here we go again. You know, I didn't answer your call because I was asleep. All those excuses you give, but it's because we don't want to really.
A Turner special. Right?
That's a Turner special. Don't do that because one of them might be on the thing and they'll be like, he just told me he was asleep. Well, I got to go to church with my mama. I call you after church. They love it when you go to church.
I edit this video, so this probably.
But I think it's important to realize that there's many times that we continue to do things in relationships because we want to be in a relationship. We don't want to be by ourselves. And we never look at, is this really nurturing me? Is this really being better for me? And especially as men, we just continue to do some things that we probably would never do. If we can get out of it, then we say, I'm never going back to that again, right? I'm not going to do that again. In my next relationship, and then what happens?
Right back at it.
But
Go
but
back.
and that ties back into that whole idea of success. Like, what does it even mean to be in a successful relationship? Does that mean just, getting married and being miserable for the rest of your life? But we stuck it out, though. So was that successful?
Right.
Because we stuck it out, and I was miserable, but we stuck that stuff out.
And
or is it being happy and like free?
And even the vulnerability piece that we was reading on about just openly being vulnerable and saying that I'm not okay, saying that's it. But I think a lot of people deal with that and end up in situations like Anderson said, be in a relationship for years, man.
We'll have a bunch of baby mamas.
Yep, that too. Yeah,
That'll be the result of
Because
it.
we continue looking, searching.
and can't fill that void.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think like men has to be, we have to at some point. I know it's gonna sound crazy, but it got to be at some point. We gotta be selfish. Like for example, I took the kids to a engineering business expo, and there was a panel, and one of the guys I've been working, doing with John Deere for 50 some years. He's like, this half my life I've been doing this. And so he like, when you pick a career, you got to kind of, if you're going to stay in it that long, you need to make sure you love it because you're going to be doing it for most of your life. I mean, obviously you could change. But I think like the students, for example, when they picking a career or picking a relationship, you got to pick what fulfills you. Like you got to sit down and really, does this make me happy? Like, yeah, this may not make me happy, but this make my girl happy. Well, to me, I'm going with me first. Like I need to make sure I'm happy because then I'm going to be able to, give her whatever she need in return. So I think if we kind of be selfish a little bit on what we want and stick to what we want, then we could be better givers for people that's on the receiving end.
And I don't think that's
That's
I don't
not
think
selfish.
nothing wrong with that at all. Yeah.
I just think communicating.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a relationship with somebody, at least communicate with me that's how you feeling. So then I'm not like, what's wrong with him?
Yeah.
What's going? But if I know that you have moments that you need your space,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't have to be with you all the time, I understand that now because you've told me.
Yep.
You know, I don't like to share my food when I eat. I mean, how many of y'all?
Yeah.
Well, whatever you order, I'll just
I
take
do
some
not,
of yours.
right.
No,
I
no,
know.
I don't
You
want to
try.
share my food. Why you looking like that, Jessica? You know that feeling. I don't want to share my food. If you want pizza, you order pizza.
Yeah.
Don't come over here on this side, right? But and sometimes they like, oh, that's cute. We just share food,
Right.
right?
Yeah, that's all it
And
be.
in your mind, you're like, I really wish you would stop.
And I could have
asked you
ordered
if you
you
wanted-
something.
I could have ordered when I asked you what you wanted, right? And so we don't say nothing. We just be like, well, you know. And then when you get to the last piece, y'all looking at each other like
Who gonna
the
take
last piece of Snickers. Who's gonna
Go
eat
ahead.
that last?
Go ahead.
I-
You got it.
But that was one of the days, and it might have been last week where it talked about speak up before silence destroys
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't
Mm-hmm.
speak up and say like how you really feel, then that resentment will build
Yep.
within you,
Yep.
Yeah.
and then you'll end up like
It'll grow like a
I hate to
cancer.
say it, but like what the kids say, crashing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You a cra- that's a
Potentially
fact.
crash out, make a bad decision
Yep.
because you chose not to speak up.
And she looking like, where does this come from?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you this way for
Yeah.
months and never said
Yeah.
anything.
We've always been happy. You've always let me eat off your
right.
plate.
You're right. What's the
Yeah.
problem?
Yeah. So I think that all that's important. And I think as we continue to talk about this book, The Man You Were Called to Be, once again by Anthony Bryce, I think it's important that we continue to have dialogues and hopefully that we get other people to kind of talking about it. The goal of this is not only that we start talking about it, but the next part is that we're going to all pick one student and we're going to give them a book and then they'll catch in with us too. And so we'll have 2 to 3 mentor young men that we'll kind of do this with, and then we'll branch off to other pieces of the podcast as well. So I'm totally excited to continue doing this with you guys. Next week we'll have another 7 days that we've kind of went through looking at becoming the man you're called to be. But we would love to hear from you, hear from anybody who's listening, like some of your thoughts, some of your concerns, or some of your, like if this resonates with you, we would love to hear that because nobody wants to talk to just space and not know if it's reaching anybody,
Drop it in
right?
the comments.
Yeah, we like dropping in the comments. Is that what you're saying?
Comments, like
So-
and subscribe.
Yeah. So we would love to hear from you because this is really an important topic. And once again, as we start spreading it amongst different young men in the school, we'll see how great this really will change lives as they are moving with us and becoming the men that they're called to be. So this is for Turner, Williams, Driscoll. I hate that y'all do peace sign. And Anderson, we say thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Oh.